Welcome to the Astoria Film Festival's virtual step and repeat interviews. We're here today talking with Ahsan Ali, who created the film Silence.
Yeah.
And welcome, Ahsan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, thank you.
It's our pleasure. So if you want to give us a little background about yourself and what motivated you to create the film.
I've been in New York for the past 7 years and I was going to school for acting. I did have an agent and I was going on auditions and I was booking more or less and it was good. You could wait it out. But there is, I feel like the distinction in different voices is very essential in terms of storytelling. And I think the trouble that most people have is finding the medium to do it. So I think my only constant to making Silence was to just tell a story. So I didn't go to any production house. Instead, I got in touch with some of the people from film school because Brooklyn College, where I went to school, has a BFA acting program, and then I was in the acting program, and I knew people from the film program too, but it's never combined. It's always like they all do their own things.
That's so ridiculous. That's so typical, but so ridiculous.
Yeah, I was very fascinated by that, and I went to one of the meetings, and I was like, I don't understand. You literally have like 67 trained actors across the building, and yet I don't see them in any of your short films. So to me that was bizarre and I just didn't understand. So through that I got in touch with like some really cool people from the acting from the filmmaking program, and one of them was Ji-hoon, who directed the film, and to G, we instantly became friends. We met at a set. I think we met at a set, and I was like, hey, I have the script, man, I want to work on it. And he was like, let's do it. And we got a very small crew. It was a 3-people crew and an actress and I. And we had the film on us, and we legitimately just set a date and just worked on it, and got Silence out that way. After Silence, we kind of got even more into the film program because Ji-hoon brought some people over, and through those people, other people came forward. And so now we're on like a streak of 5 films, and we're using all of the people from Brooklyn College. Everyone is from Brooklyn College.
Wonderful. And Silence, the thing that struck me about it is not a lot of people delve into kind of mental illness very well. If they do, it kind of makes it seem hokey, but it seemed to be a very genuine take on kind of dealing with mental illness. What was the motivation behind that?
Mental illness has been a very close quarter thing in my life with people in my family. And because of that, I was more empathetic towards it with other people. So this story was sort of Silence was sort of a love letter to one of my family members. And although like some of it was taken from close quarters, it still had to be developed to make it relatable. So as much as I could, because I did not study screenwriting. All I knew that I have a story to tell, so I'm going to put it on paper and then I'm going to take it from there. So yeah, that's how I went about it. A story needs to come out when it's like it's really just clogging your entire airway of breath for you to like let it out. And especially if it's about mental illness, one has to be more careful. So with that in mind, I did whatever I could, and with some hopings to it translating. It's a big thing to like, if you had a bigger budget, if you had more people, if you had like, it's a whole logistical thing within it, which I was not aware of, because it's legitimately the first film that I've attempted. I think it would always stay in a very specific spot for me in general, because I wrote a film about a family member and I put it out as a love letter to them.
What are you working on next?
So I wrote a film called Coffee in December, and we shot it in January. And then we made a pact not a pact, but we had a conversation about trying to make 5 films this year, 5 short films, and raising money, like, or either putting our own money or just trying to keep working. So we make Coffee. There's another one that Harrison wrote, and that we actually shot that with the minimum amount of people in a room on Monday. And we were successful to shoot a film with no, I mean, it's not a SAG project, but if it was, we definitely wouldn't be allowed to. But with the minimum amount of people, and actually went really well. And he wrote it, I directed it. And the next film, we're hoping that by July end, it's everything is a little more normalized, and we can work on set with a little higher number of people if possible. But we're shooting another film on July 26th, and I wrote that one. And then moving forward, we have 2 more films that we're going to shoot in the next 6 months, so that the dates are to be determined. I enjoy reading a lot. And I think what happened during this is that I became one of those, one of those ladies who just gets one cat and then ends up with like 10 cats after a particular time period. I think that's what I did with books. I usually just would like to read one at a time, but like I was at such a, because it was such a rotational practice that I ended up doing 3-4 books at one time and finishing them in a week. So I read a lot. We actually finished all of the films during this time. We finished all of the films. We wrote all of the films within these 2 months. So at least for the first draft. So we just kept working on it again and again because there's nothing else to do. I think it's it's definitely a very present practice for everyone, and not knowing what is lying ahead for all of us. I think there's a middle area. There's a gray area where all of us are like kind of forced to exist with no preconceived notion of what and how the world is going to look like after.
Yes.
And I think that brings a lot of compassion and a lot of anger, maybe, but a lot of compassion in a lot of people.
Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up? Anything at all, honestly.
I truly just do appreciate being in the festival and being able to tell a story that was so close to home, and hope that in future we get more of our stories through mediums such as yours, and hopefully would love to be a part of the community as much as we could be.